Here are the 9 celebrities preparing for today's show. Only one of them can win up to £50,000 for a charity of their choice. The others will leave with nothing, as one by one they're voted off as the weakest link.
Welcome to a special edition of The Weakest Link. The 9 people in the studio tonight all think they are funny. I'll be the judge of that. Anyway, they could win up to £50,000 for charity. If they want that prize money, our comics will have to work as a team. But 8 of them will leave with nothing, as round by round we lose the player voted the weakest link. Let's meet the team.
I'm Frank Horse and I'm responsible for 2 great catchphrases. It's a cracker and what do you tell 'em?
My name's Ed Byrne and I sell mobile phones for a living.
My name's Nina Benjamin and I'm not a natural blonde.
My name's Jason Byrne and I sound like Ed Byrne.
My name's Rob Deering and I'm very excited and serious about the game today.
My name's Phil Cornwell and I am the only one I haven't heard of.
My name's Lucy Porter and I'm not normally this tall. They've stood me on a box.
Hi, I'm Bob Mills and I'm probably the most famous comedian in my house.
I'm Phil Nichol, I'm Canadian, you probably never heard of me, but I just did win the IF Comedy Award at the Edinburgh Festival, so I'm the best. Loser!
Now the rules. In each round the aim is to answer enough questions correctly to reach your £5,000 target within the time limit. The fastest way is to create a chain of 9 correct answers. Get your question wrong and you break the chain and lose all the money in that chain. But if you say bank before the question is asked, the money is safe. However, you start a new chain from scratch. At the end of the round, only money that has been banked can be taken forward. In round 1, there are 3 minutes on the clock. We'll start with the person whose name is first alphabetically. That's Bob. Let's play The Weakest Link. The first question is for £100. Start the clock. Bob, in TV and radio, the term sitcom stands for situation what?
Comedy.
Correct. Phil N. In cartoons, monkeys are popularly portrayed eating which yellow fruit?
Banana.
Correct. Frank, what P is a small item of mail traditionally sent whilst on holiday that usually features a picture on one side and does not need an envelope?
Postcard.
Correct. Ed. In celebrities, what's the first name of the world-famous actor born in Kentucky in 1961 with the surname Clooney?
George.
Correct. Ninia. In weather, dew is more commonly found on the ground and on plants at which time of the day, morning or evening?
Morning.
Correct. Jason.
Bang.
In African wildlife, what is the full name of the semi-aquatic mammal colloquially called a hippo?
Hippopotamus.
Correct. Rob. The shape formed by a 2-fingered gesture intended either as an insult or to signify victory or peace resembles which letter of the alphabet?
V.
Correct. Phil C. In food and drink, which type of French sparkling wine is often referred to by the informal terms bubbly and champers?
Champagne.
Correct. Lucy. In medicine, what D is the name given to a partial or full set of artificial teeth?
Dentures.
Correct. Bob. In politics, the usual name of the sovereign state that is made up of England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland is the United what?
Kingdom.
Correct. Phil N.
Bang.
In maths, what number is larger, 65 or 56?
65.
Correct. Frank.
Bang.
In entertainment, which 3-letter palindrome is a common term for a joke or humorous story, especially one told by a professional comedian?
3-letter, sorry.
In entertainment, which 3-letter palindrome is a common term for a joke or humorous story, especially one told by a professional comedian?
Gag.
Correct, Ed. In personal adornments, the word tat is an abbreviation of which term for a design permanently marked onto the skin?
Tattoo.
Correct. Ninia. In sport, the former England football captain known by the nicknames Becks and Golden Balls is David who?
Beckham.
Correct. Jason. Which aspect of Rob Deering has been measured at 130, his IQ or his waistline?
IQ.
Correct, Rob. In agriculture, hay is a dried version of which plant?
Grass.
Correct, Phil C. In the home or office, what C is the general name for the piece of furniture that is designed as a seat for one person?
What's it again, please?
You want the question
Yes,
repeated?
please. I'd like the question repeated, please. Yeah.
In the home or office, what C is the general name for the piece of furniture that is designed as a seat for one person?
Chair.
Correct. Lucy. In comic books, that's too late. In comic books, TV and film, the alter ego of Superman. Time's up and you banked £3,850, but you know you had a chain of 17 correct answers. Who's just funny in the head? Who's been heckling themselves? One of you is about to leave with nothing. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
According to the statistics, Jason is the strongest link. Lucy is the weakest link. But who will the players vote off at this early stage of the game?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Phil C.
Phil C.
Phil C.
Phil C.
Phil C.
Phil Frank.
Phil C.
Phil C.
Phil C.
Frank,
Yes,
how long have you been in the business?
56 years.
And you're still not sure what a gag is?
No, it's the palindrome actually put me off.
Is it the way I asked it?
It's the way you tell him.
Why Phil C?
Just because he was a bit slow. The way we all answered
Did you know
questions.
anyone else who was a bit slow?
Yes, I was a bit slow, but I got through it.
He got through it.
Yes, I was very fortunate. I thought I could have been off it, but knowing I'm such a great celebrity, you need people like me on the show. Thanks, Anne. I love you.
Phil N,
Yes.
who none of us have heard of. What do you do?
I'm a professional stand-up comedian.
Good, okay, make me laugh then.
That's impossible, Anne.
You won the Perrier Awards. They're not called the Perrier Awards anymore.
No, they're not. They're called the If Dot Comedy Award.
Okay, so you won an award none of us have heard of.
Yes.
What did you win it for?
A show none of you have ever heard of.
Okay, what was that called?
It was called The Naked Racist.
Okay, give us the high spot of the naked racist.
You asked for it, Anne. Yeah, you don't want me to do it. This is going out on my mother and father's 30th wedding anniversary. What?
Come on.
You want to see it?
Yeah.
You have to pay. Look at the. Oh. No, I can't do that.
Phil, just move to your right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, turn round.
Yes.
Well, just show us your bum.
Show you.
I'll show the lady your ass. You come over here, you nick our awards, and you won't even show Anne Robinson your bum.
Back on your podium. Why Phil C?
Let's have a chair for Phil C. Hip hip hooray! That's topical. Thanks, Phil.
So, Phil C, you're famous for doing impressions.
I used to be in my earlier funny days, yeah.
Who were you doing an impression of in the first round?
I was doing an impression of someone who should have known the answer to that very simple question, but didn't.
What other impressions can you do? Can
Can
you do as Michael Caine?
Yes, I can. I think this whole thing was rigged. And I feel very put upon. It's not blatant fair. And now I talk really low, like that.
You do Mick Jagger?
No, well, I think that would be, you know, if I was asked to do Mick, I think that would be. I would
No,
feel
you
put on
can't,
the spot.
okay,
No,
fine.
I can. No, you know it, Anne. You're saying that, but you actually know I do sound like that.
Try and do me.
You are the weakest link. See you later. That's the best I can do.
Phil C, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Well, it was unanimous, and the feeling was kind of gutting in a way, but I have to be philosophical about it. Someone's got to get it first, so it makes me special. If you're not going to win it, get voted off first.
Round 2, and you've won £3,850. We're now taking 10 seconds off your time. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Jason. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Jason, in the style of music popular in the UK in the 1970s and known as glam rock, the word glam was short for what? Glamour or Glamorgan?
Glamour.
Correct. Rob, which of today's contestants has been described in print as a crazed, red-headed nutcase and part Spike Milligan, part Duracell bunny?
Jason Byrne.
Correct. Lucy, in pub snacks, what two-word name is given to small, crispy pieces of fried pigskin?
Pork scratchings.
Correct. Bob, in the Gregorian calendar, how many months have names beginning with the letter J?
3.
Correct. Phil N. In 2003, as part of a local heroes project, a Haringey museum exhibited which item of Ninia Benjamin's underwear, her first bra or her big pants?
Her first bra.
Correct. Frank, which comedian whose stage routine involves items that he calls tickling sticks coined the catchphrases tatty by and tatty hilarious?
Kenneth H. Dodd.
Correct, Ed.
Bang.
In weather, what W is the general name for a current of air moving horizontally across the surface of the Earth?
Wind.
Correct. Ninia, at the 2006 Edinburgh Festival, Lucy Porter's stand-up show had the same title as which 1970s sitcom starring Richard Briers and Felicity Kendall?
Pass.
The Good Life.
Oh.
Jason, in customs, when speaking to a magistrate or a mayor, what is the correct form of address, your worship or your turnip?
Your worship.
Correct. Rob, in the game of Cluedo, the character who shares his surname with a condiment is Colonel who?
Mustard.
Correct. Lucy, in medicine, what H is a word for a pain inside the skull that can also mean a problem?
Headache.
Correct. Bob, in film, the comedy partner of Lou Costello was Bud who?
Abbott.
Correct.
Bank.
Phil N. In the New Testament, the Gospel of St. Matthew states that man shall not live by which foodstuff alone?
Bread.
Correct. Frank.
Bank.
In computing, don't look so frightened. The abbreviation WWW is short for which three-word phrase?
World Wide Web.
Correct, Ed. In celebrities, the singer David Bowie famously has a pair of differently coloured what? Eyes or ears?
Eyes.
Correct. Inia.
Bank.
In TV, which comedy series popularised the use of the mild expletive smeg? You don't know
Bank.
this one either. Red Dwarf. Jason, in literature, the author born in 1892 and renowned for his fantasy novels was known as J.R.R. who?
Ewing.
Tolkien. Rob, in music, Phil Cornwall provides the voice of Murdoch. Time's up and you bank £3,600. Who needs a chicken to help them cross the road? Time to vote off the weakest link.
Ed is the strongest link as he banked the most money for the team. Statistically, Ninia is the weakest link. But how will the votes go?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Ninia.
Ninia.
Jason.
Ninia spelled wrong.
Ninia.
Jason.
Ninia.
Jason.
How's it going, Bob?
It's going very well, thank you.
It's nice to see you on television again.
Thank you very much. It's nice to be back. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we couldn't get Lisa Riley.
You're probably one of the few people who couldn't then.
Are you saying Lisa Riley's a slapper?
No, absolutely I wouldn't say. I make a point of never insulting people who are even bigger than me.
Tell us a joke.
A joke that I had many, many years ago on The Comedians.
You're going to tell one of Frank's jokes, then?
I believe it was one of... It may well have been one of Frank's, but I won't do the accent. A fella opens the door and there's a man there with the briefcase and he said, I'm from Littlewoods. And he says, oh, brilliant, we've won the pools. And he said, no, we've nicked your wife for shoplifting.
You've got another one.
There's a whole generation now who don't even know
what
the pools
Littlewoods
are.
is.
Exactly.
Yeah. Frank does, though. He'll get that joke.
Frank will get it.
Yeah.
I actually got it before you told him.
Why, Ninia?
Because she got 2 questions wrong.
So you sell mobile phones, do you, Ed?
Yes, yes. That's
How does that work?
I do advertising voiceovers.
Oh, you sold out?
Yes. Well, comedy puts food on the table, but ads put cars in the garage.
Okay. What's the ad?
It's for a well-known mobile phone retailer.
What's the very annoying phone?
His name's Mobley.
Okay.
He has a high-pitched voice.
Go on, then.
Still me. I do them both. Multi-talented.
You're very versatile. Can you make people laugh as well?
Yeah, yes. I do stand-up comedy. Oh, you want a joke?
Yeah.
All right. Went to the Canary Islands on holiday last year. Didn't see one canary. Going to the Virgin Islands next year. Can't wait.
What's the difference between an ordinary joke and an Irish joke?
Do you really need me to explain this to you? And an Irish joke, it generally features an Irish person. And an ordinary joke doesn't.
Hi, Ninia.
And they say the Irish are stupid. Ninia, she got 2 questions wrong.
So, Ninia, can you tell us a joke?
Yeah, I can. My favourite joke. What did the little Eskimo say to the big Eskimo at dinner time? Well, me again.
Ninia? You cannot laugh at your own joke.
Sorry, I do laugh at my own jokes.
OK, let's start again and keep a straight face.
What did?
Do you really think that hair colour suits you? And the earrings?
Oh, don't be jealous. Are you ready for me
But
to
the
tell
tank
joke?
top, I think, is the pièce de résistance.
I think the tank top goes with my eyeshadow.
Do you think tank tops heavy boobs?
Why are you looking at my boobs, Anne? I didn't know. Is this
No,
a
it's
story
only
for the
Jason
Sun?
was looking at them. He's never stopped
I want
looking
him
at
to
them.
look at them.
No, I was just trying to see Ed behind them.
And do you want this joke or not?
OK, we're going to get this joke now.
OK. What did the little Eskimo say to the big Eskimo? Well, meet again.
Cue laugh! Linnea, you are the weakest thing. Bye.
Oh, I can't kick myself about getting the questions wrong because Smeg, I didn't know, and the other one I didn't know, so nah. I weren't first. I can't feel bad. If I was first, I'd be crying now.
Round 3, you have £7,450. Another 10 seconds coming off the time. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Ed. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Ed, an attractive woman who becomes a status symbol after marrying a rich and successful man is often described as a trophy what?
Wife.
Correct, Jason. In the NATO phonetic alphabet, the name of which Asian country is used to represent the letter I?
Say it again, sorry, I'm sorry.
In the NATO phonetic alphabet, the name of which Asian country is used to represent the letter I?
China.
India. Rob, during his career,
She's
which
asking
of
another
these
one.
people weighed under 8 stone and rode racehorses owned by the Queen? Frank Carson or Willie Carson?
Willie Carson.
Correct, Lucy. In UK politics, what's the usual term for the committee of policy-making ministers presided over by the Prime Minister?
The Cabinet.
Correct, Bob. In popular culture, the name of which former Baywatch actress is an anagram of a pear and melons?
Pamela Anderson.
Correct, Phil N. The 2006 TV sitcom starring Jack Dee as a disillusioned, embittered, world-weary stand-up named Rick Spleen is entitled Lead what?
Balloon.
Correct, Frank. In clothing, what H is the usual 3-letter word for any item of headgear with a crown and a brim?
Hat.
Correct, Ed. In children's activities, when building a snowman, a carrot is most often used to represent which organ?
The nose.
Correct, Jason. In finance, a common 2-word term for a sum of money that has been saved for the future is a nest what?
Egg.
Correct, Rob. In pop music, which singer released albums called Off the Wall, Thriller and Bad?
Michael Jackson.
Correct, Lucy. Before becoming a stand-up, Bob Mills decided to join the Merchant Navy and lasted how long in basic training? 9 years or 9 days?
9 days.
Correct, Bob.
Bang.
What's the everyday name for the granular material found on beaches that consists mainly of silicon dioxide?
Sand.
Correct, Phil N. In toys, which British-made doll was given a £3 million makeover in 2006 that included a pink minicar and a less curvaceous body?
Pass.
Cindy! Frank, in film, which famous comedy duo are known in Germany as Dick and Doof?
The Simpsons.
Laurel and Hardy. Ed, in language, what L is a word often considered to be a more polite alternative term for a woman?
Lady.
Correct. Jason, in maths, what is 39 plus 5?
43.
44. What? Rob, in food, which familiar red fruit can be bought at delicatessens and supermarkets in sun-dried and sun-blushed forms?
Tomato.
Correct. Lucy, in television, which female comedian subtitled her 1980s series As Seen on TV?
Victoria Wood.
Correct. Bob, in the home, a spin facility that rotates the content. Time's up and you bank £2,700. Who couldn't get booked by a referee? Who's doing a very, very good impression of an idiot?
Name 2 days of the week beginning with T. Today and tomorrow.
It's time to vote off the weakest link.
With the most wrong answers, Jason is statistically the weakest link. The strongest link is Ed, but will the voting reflect reality?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Jason.
Jason.
Phil and...
Jason.
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 So, Rob, have you won an award at Edinburgh?
No.
Why's that?
I don't know. Don't talk to me.
You've got an IQ of 130.
I thought it was higher, but yeah, no, it's, yeah.
Well, how do you know it's 130?
They did a test.
Who did a test?
Some people on some comedians in Edinburgh. They were trying to find out if they were clever.
OK, so as well as being clever, can you be funny?
I could do... A slapstick.
That's quite funny, but you copied it off Frank, didn't you?
I think if Frank did that, he might die. If Jason tried to do it, he'd probably miss the ground.
Fellow Irishman.
Why Jason?
Jason cracked under the pressure that round. He went down hard. He nearly couldn't remember the word egg.
Lucy, jump off your several pods. Oh, there's very little of you.
I know. That's why I like this, because I'm on a box.
Right.
So get back up.
Yeah, OK. I hear you can tell filthy jokes.
Yeah.
OK.
Do you want one?
A reasonably filthy joke.
OK, well, this is my nephew's favourite dirty joke. What's brown and sticky? Poo! Come here. Okay.
Try again, Lucy.
Can I not just show you my arse?
That's OK. Why Jason?
I love Jason, and I wish he could stay.
Now, why are you voting him off? If you wished he could stay, you wouldn't be voting him off. Do you understand that?
You're right. I hate him. I hate him. I've always hated him.
OK, well, Jason, clearly you haven't got an IQ of 130.
Nah.
Do you have an IQ?
No, I didn't bring it.
Can you tell me a joke?
Salesman knocks to a door. You know something? We're not going to get any work after this. Do you know that?
Get on with it, Jason.
Sorry, Anne, sorry.
Yeah.
It's just like you're like every girlfriend I've ever had just thrown into one. It's very frightening. And it's all the mad bits.
Get on with it, Jason.
OK. Yeah, salesman knocks into the door. 5-year-old...
The door of a house?
Into the door of a house?
No, he knocks on the door of a house.
No, salesman knocks into a door.
No, he knocks on the door of a house. That's how you started.
No. Will you shut up? Even the audience are joining in now. Oh, sorry, I'll do it again, yes.
Does he knock on the door, into the door?
No, he's mental. He just ran into it.
OK.
A salesman walks up to a door.
OK.
Just up to it.
Yeah.
He knocks on it. Maybe he rang. I don't know. A 5-year-old answers it. Maybe he can't reach the door.
What answers it?
He gets the door! The 5-year-old! I don't mean he picks it up and brings it to the gap!
A 5-year-old?
A 5-year-old.
OK.
Yeah. Not a plant or a vegetable.
No, a 5-year-old.
An actual boy.
Yeah.
Right? And he goes up to answer the door, because the salesman on the other side, he hasn't run into it. He's on the other side.
No, OK.
And as he opens the door, and the little boy is wearing a smoking jacket. He has a...
I know this one.
Oh, well, let me tell us! Anyway, and salesman goes up to the door.
Yeah.
There's a 5-year-old on either side. Anne Robinson knows the answer. He's wearing, the 5-year-old's wearing a smoking jacket, he's holding a bottle of brandy, and he has a cigar in his hand.
Yeah.
The salesman says, "Is your mother or father in?" And the 5-year-old looks at him and says, "Does it look like my mother and father are in?" Yes!
Jason, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I'm very happy that everybody voted me off because it was so stupid to get those 2 questions wrong that if anybody had not voted me off, they should have just come with me right now if they hadn't noticed such a stupid move. I mean, I will never forget this for as long as I live. I just want to go back out and rectify it, but I can't. I have to just sit in there now and eat buns if I can fit them in my mouth and not my eye.
Round 4, and you have £10,150. Another 10 seconds coming off the time. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Ed. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Ed, in tabloid newspapers, what is the name of the British politician who has variously been nicknamed 2 Jags, 2 Jabs and 2 Shags?
John Prescott.
Correct, Rob. In 2002, Ed Byrne paid £12,000 at an auction for a purple-coloured guitar used on tour by which small American singer?
Prince.
Correct, Lucy. In astronomy, what P is the general name given to any major body orbiting the Sun or another star?
Planet.
Correct, Bob. According to the words of the Australian children's song, the kookaburra sits in the old what?
Coolabah tree.
Gum tree. Phil N. In publishing, what adult comic has featured the adventures of characters such as Sid the Sexist, Biffa Bacon and those pathetic sharks?
Fizz.
Correct, Frank. In 2 common terms for connected hotel rooms used as a single unit of accommodation, which word follows penthouse and bridal?
Sweet.
Correct, Ed. Phil Nichols' 2006 stage act about a debauched weekend in Amsterdam ends up with him wearing what? Nothing but socks or shoes, or a pair of clogs?
Absolutely nothing.
Correct, Rob. In horticulture, what is the general term for the cultivated areas that include types called sunken, walled and vegetable?
Garden.
Correct, Lucy. In comedy, which mild term of abuse that is an old-fashioned word for a pig is used as a catchphrase by the TV presenter Russell Brand?
Porker.
Swine. Bob, in weaponry, what A is the term for any gun that reloads itself or continues firing as long as there is pressure on the trigger?
Automatic.
Correct, Phil N. In film, the character Borat, played by Sacha Baron Cohen, who features in a 2006 spoof documentary, supposedly comes from which Asian country?
Kazakhstan.
Correct, Frank. In English grammar, in the simple sentence, I love you, which word is the verb?
Love.
Correct, Ed.
Bang.
In humour, a well-known joke about a search for soap at bath time involves 2 what? Nuns or hedgehogs?
None.
Correct. Rob, in New York in 1962, which iconic actress famously sang Happy Birthday to an equally iconic US president?
Marilyn Monroe.
Correct, Lucy.
Bank.
In food and drink, the alcoholic spirit gin is colloquially known as mother's what?
Ruin.
Correct, Bob. In ornithology, blue, great and coal are the names of 3 species of which small British bird?
Tit.
Correct, Phil N. In
Bank.
his 2006 autobiography, Wayne Rooney claims that the sound of which device helps him fall asleep, a fire alarm or a vacuum cleaner?
A fire alarm.
A vacuum cleaner. Frank, according to a verse by the poet Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, into each life... Time's up, I can't complete the question and you won £1,000. Who went to Wales for the Edinburgh Festival? It's time to vote on the weakest link.
For the 3rd round in a row, Ed is the strongest link. The weakest link statistically is Bob. But will the other players realise this when casting their votes?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Bob.
Bob.
Lucy.
Bob.
Lucy.
Bob.
Frank, they don't tell jokes like you do they, this lot?
The younger generation, I just go for belly laughs. I like jokes, say, like, I went into the butcher's shop and my wife said, is that his sheep's head in the window? He said, no, it's a mirror. Go for laugh.
Why, Bob?
Well, it just he got one wrong, and they all got one. There was three of them there.
So, Phil, why do we think Canadians are boring?
Do you think Canadians are boring, Anne?
Well, I've only got you to judge. What, Bob?
What do you think, Anne? I was going to put a W on one cheek and a W on another cheek, and when I bend over, wow.
Why, Bob?
Because I didn't want it to be me.
Bob, you are the weakest link. Bye.
People might watch The Weakest Link and think, what they do is they all meet up and they have drinks, and then Anne says, all right, well, come on, we'll have a bit of fun, then we'll go out and have a sis. They don't. She is, what you see is exactly what she is. She's basically humanoid in form, but there's a kind of whole alien thing going on there.
Round 5, and you've now banked £11,150. Another 10 seconds coming off the time. We'll start the strongest link from the last round. That's Ed. Let's play The Weakest Link. Start the clock. Ed, at a circus, what C is the usual name for a performer able to twist his or her body into an unusual shape?
Contortionist.
Correct. Rob. In the TV comedy episode The Blood Donor, Tony Hancock speaks the famous line, a pint, why that's very nearly what?
An armful.
Correct. Lucy. In music, which reggae artist wrote and performed songs called Is This Love, Stir It Up and Redemption Song?
Bob Marley.
Correct. Phil N. In Japanese history, a ninja was a person who was particularly skilled at what? Martial arts or flower arranging?
Martial arts.
Correct. Frank.
Bank.
In Greek mythology, the flying horse, known as Pegasus, is usually depicted with how many wings?
2.
Correct, Ed. The Radio 4 comedy programme that features the game known as Mornington Crescent is called I'm Sorry I Haven't a What?
Clue.
Correct. Rob. What H is a 4-letter word that can mean the cry of an owl, the honk of a car horn, or a very amusing situation?
Hoot.
Correct. Lucy.
Bank.
In women's fashion, fitted calf-length trousers originally designed to be worn while cycling are alliteratively known as what pushers?
Pedal.
Correct. Phil N. In sport, some of the more unruly spectators of which outdoor game have been known to shout, get in the hole as the ball is being played?
Golf.
Correct. Frank.
Frank.
In TV, the catchphrase is how very dare you and what a liberty is spoken by characters portrayed by which actress and comedienne?
I can't think. Pass.
Catherine Tate. Ed.
Catherine Tate,
The
couldn't remember.
politician who was elected leader of the Conservatives in 2005 is called what? David Cameron or Cameron Diaz?
David Cameron.
Correct. Rob. In personal appearance, someone who is described as hirsute has a lot of what on their body?
Hair.
Correct. Lucy. According to the old joke, which cheese is made backwards?
Edam.
Correct. Phil N. In geography, which is the only country in South America that has Portuguese as its national language?
Brazil.
Correct. Frank.
Frank.
In the media, what J is the term for a writer working for a newspaper or magazine?
Journalist.
Correct, Ed. In pop music, which two-syllable exclamation, often said as something is revealed, is the title of a 2006 UK #1 album by the Scissor Sisters?
Ta-da.
Correct. Rob. In TV, which 1970s sitcom included episodes called The Hotel Inspectors, Ward Off Salad and Basil the Rat?
40 Towers.
Correct. Lucy.
Bank.
In oral hygiene, a liquid in... Time's up. You banked £3,250, but you know you had a chain of 9 correct answers, so you could have reached your target. Who's collecting awards and who's collecting trolleys? Who's funny ha-ha? Who's funny peculiar? Time to vote off the weakest link.
As the only player to get an answer wrong, Frank is the weakest link. The strongest link is Rob. But will the votes reflect the statistics?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Frank.
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 So that's a really mean thing to do.
To vote for Frank. I felt for it. I felt
You
for
know,
him.
that's the funniest Irish comedian we have.
In fairness, could I just... He is the only one who got a question
No, but
wrong.
that's hardly the point, is it?
Yeah. It's not fair. You're the very one I've seen give out to people when they vote for the strongest link as well. You get very harsh on people. You can't play a team game, you say, and you get very angry. And now I vote for the person who was technically the weakest link, and you're never happy. You're a typical woman.
I'll drink to that.
So, Rob, with your IQ of 130, maybe more.
Blooming IQ, yes.
Now, the thing is that Ed is doing as well as you.
But he's doing so well, and let's face it, I'm doing so well. Why would I bank?
What's he talking about?
I don't know. You carry on. I don't know.
Do you not understand the... Why have you got your coat on?
You can talk, lousy. What's that?
Why Frank?
Frank broke my heart, but he was the only person who got a question wrong.
Frank, it is back to the old comics home, I'm afraid.
Absolutely.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Can I quote one of the all-time great comedians of the last century, of any century, and that would be Spike Milligan, who said, "What's the difference between Frank Hart and the M1? You can turn off the M1."
Round 6, and you've got £14,400. There are 4 of you left. Another 10 seconds coming off the time. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Rob. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Rob, in maths, what I is the term for the concept that is represented by a symbol resembling a number 8 on its side?
Infinity.
Correct, Lucy. The cities of Melbourne, San Francisco and Johannesburg all grew rapidly in the 1800s after the discovery of deposits of which precious metal? Gold. Correct, Phil N. In music, the conductor Sir Thomas Beecham described what as an instrument between the legs that can bring pleasure to thousands?
The viola.
Cello. Ed, in public health, which greenish gas is used to purify the water in swimming pools and is the source of their characteristic smell?
Chlorine.
Correct. Rob, in the Dickens novel A Christmas Carol, what H is the word often spoken by Scrooge, indicating his sneering attitude to the festive season?
Humbug.
Correct, Lucy. In cinema, the actor Daniel Radcliffe became a household name after playing which schoolboy character in a 2001 film and its sequels?
Harry Potter.
Correct. Phil N. The name for the first day of Lent derived from the practice of placing residue from a fire on the foreheads of penitents is what Wednesday?
Ash.
Correct. Ed. In TV, the title of which popular sitcom was a pun based on a line from the play Hamlet to the manor born, or It Ain't Half Hot, Mum?
It ain't half hot, Mum.
No to the manor born. Rob, in history, which English explorer is credited with introducing tobacco and the potato to Europe in the 16th century?
Paul Turali.
Correct, Lucy. Intended as an antidote to chav culture, the 2006 book by Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen and his wife Jackie is called A Pinch of what?
Salt.
Posh!
No.
Phil N. In human anatomy, what J is the name of a vein that carries blood in the opposite direction from the carotid artery?
The jugular.
Correct. Ed, in pop music, which 1963 Beatles song consists of a declaration by a man that he wishes to clutch the manual extremity of his girlfriend?
I want to hold your hand.
Correct. Rob,
Bank.
in maths, what is 10 multiplied by 50?
500.
I'll accept. Lucy, in gambling, apart from the 0, which is green, the slots on a standard European roulette wheel are red and which other colour?
Black.
Correct. Phil N. In
Bank.
TV, the comedy duo who in 2006 performed a parody sketch of Weakest Link called Hole in the Ring are David Mitchell and Robert who? Time's up and you back £500. Whose fault was that? Should Rob hit the floor? Should Ed get mobile? Are the cracks beginning to show around Phil? Or perhaps Lucy needs cutting loose? It's time to vote off the Weakest Link.
For the first time in the game, Ed is the weakest link. Statistically, the strongest link is Rob. But who will the team want off?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Phil N.
Phil N.
Phil?
Ed.
Ed, did you think Phil N was the worst player?
Yes. Equally worst with the other 2 people who got 1 wrong.
There was only one other person who got 2 right and 1 wrong. And Phil banked, and that other person didn't.
Well, why would the other person bank if Phil's just banked?
Lucy, why Phil?
He got 1
Is
wrong.
it because he's Canadian?
Yeah.
Phil, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I've just done the first ever naked walk of shame on the weakest link, although I'm sure Anne Robinson has probably done it a few times in other situations herself.
Round Round 7, you have £14,900. Another 10 seconds coming off the time. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Rob. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Rob, in UK geography, what E is a seaside resort in East Sussex famous for an annual tennis tournament and its population of retired people?
Eastbourne.
Correct. Lucy, the modern magazine that shares its name with a 19th century novel by William Makepeace Thackeray is called Vanity what?
Fair.
Correct. Ed, in entertainment, what was the title of the comedy and music show staged in 2006 in aid of Amnesty International?
The Secret Policeman's Ball.
Correct. Rob, in film, the founding of United Artists by Charlie Chaplin and his colleagues gave rise to the saying, the lunatics have taken over the what?
Asylum.
Correct. Lucy, the sportsmen Tiger Woods, Brian Lara and Colin McRae have all had which products named after them, computer games or perfumes?
Computer games.
Correct. Ed, in US history, during the Great Depression, areas of the Midwest afflicted by drought and high winds became known as the what bowl?
Dust Bowl.
Correct. Rob, in the animal kingdom, the greater horseshoe and the little big-eared are both species of which mammal?
Bat.
Correct. Lucy, in UK advertising from 1959, a chocolate bar was famously promoted with the claim that it helps you work, rest and what?
Play.
Correct. Ed, in human biology, a person with a condition known as amusia is suffering from what? Tone deafness or colour blindness?
Colour blindness.
Tone deafness. Rob, in pop music, Living Doll was a UK #1 single in 1986 for Cliff Richard and characters from which TV comedy series?
The Young Ones.
Correct. Lucy, in botany, the rhyming names of the first two organs to emerge from a germinating seed are a shoot and a what?
Root.
Correct. Ed, in finance, what O is the word used to describe a bank account with funds that are managed abroad at a lower rate of tax than the UK?
Offshore.
Correct. Rob,
Bank.
in the 1969 film Carry On Again, Dr. Charles Hawtrey's character declares, I do not object to jiggery, but I take exception to what?
Pokery.
Correct. Lucy, in sport, two consonants can be added to the word baseball to make the name of which five-a-side game?
Basketball.
Correct. Ed, in cookery, what's the name of the traditional Scottish soup made from chicken and leeks?
Cockaliki.
Correct. Rob, in family planning, which four-letter word? Time's up and you won £1,850. Now, in round 8, you get the chance to treble what you bank. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
At this crucial stage of the game, Ed remains the weakest link. The strongest link statistically is Lucy. But who will be taking the final walk of shame?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Lucy?
Ed.
Ed.
Lucy, why Ed?
Because I think for charity, it'd be better if he stayed, but I'm abiding by the rules of the game where I have to vote for someone other than myself, so...
Rob, have you got a respectable reason?
I just think he was the only person to get one wrong that round.
Ed, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Anne's a funny one because she, you know, on this show, she's very serious. She's a total method actress. Even when she's walking around the studio, she drinks the blood of a jackal before she goes on set, all that kind of carry on, just to get herself in the mood. Whereas you meet her outside of this, and she's all happiness and smiles.
Round 8, in the bank, £16,750. Two of you left in this round. There's 90 seconds. But whatever you win will be trebled. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Lucy. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Lucy, which type of Latin American dance music derived its name from a Spanish word for sauce?
Salsa.
Correct. Rob, in expressions, a term for a very enthusiastic person that includes the name of an aquatic rodent is an eager what?
Beaver.
Correct. Lucy, in TV and film, Jonas Armstrong, Michael Praed and Errol Flynn have all played which legendary hero?
Robin Hood.
Correct. Rob, in the UK military, the name of which low army rank is abbreviated to PTE?
Private.
Correct. Lucy, in theatre, the song's called If You Were Gay, The Internet Is for Porn, and It Sucks to Be Me, featuring which musical?
Avenue Q.
Correct. Rob, in psychology, the ego, the id and the superego are the three elements of the human mind in the theory of which Viennese doctor?
Freud.
Correct. Lucy, in maths, what is half of 92?
46.
Correct. Rob, the comedy performer who appeared in the 1990s TV series Fist of Fun with Stuart Lee and shares his name with a type of fish is Richard who?
Herring.
Correct. Lucy. In UK geography, which word follows English, Bristol and St George's to make the names of 3 stretches of coastal water?
Channel.
Correct. Rob, the 2006 animated film that features the voice of Billy Connolly as the leader of a group of angry squirrels is entitled Open What?
Season.
Correct, Lucy. In pop music, the novelty record called the Ying Tong Song was a 1973 UK hit single for which radio comedy group?
The Goons.
Correct. Rob, in food, which word often applied to a snooker ball? Time's up, I can't complete the question. You won £2,500, which we will treble. That means prize money tonight of £24,250, which is our second highest amount ever on The Weakest Link. Only one of you can take that money away, so now you'll play against each other, up to 5 questions each. If there's a tie, we'll go for sudden death until we have a winner. Therefore, Rob and Lucy, for £24,250, let's play The Weakest Link. Lucy is the strongest link in the last round. You have the choice of who goes first.
I'll get it over with, I'll go first.
Lucy, in celebrities, which bodybuilder turned actor turned politician has a surname that means black ploughman in German?
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That is the correct answer. Rob, in theatre, the musical that opened in the West End in 2006 and is based on the film Monty Python and the Holy Grail has what title?
Spamalot.
That is the correct answer. Lucy, Harry Enfield once said that the accent of which city often consists of putting the letter O before an I and replacing each U with a W?
Newcastle.
The correct answer is Birmingham. Rob, in the animal kingdom, which Australian aquatic mammal feeds by probing the mud on riverbeds with its leathery beak?
Duck-billed platypus.
That is the correct answer. Lucy, in cinema, in the titles of 2 murder mysteries set in Los Angeles, which flower was black in 2006, having been blue 60 years earlier?
Dahlia.
That is the correct answer. Rob, which common euphemism for the word lavatory has many disputed origins, including corruptions of the French terms for place and water?
Lou.
That is the correct answer. Lucy, after Tammy Wynette had a UK hit single with Stand By Your Man in April 1975, her next chart hit in June the same year had what ironic title?
DIVORCE.
That is the correct answer. Rob, in literature, following his release from jail in 1897, which Victorian writer often travelled under the assumed name of Sebastian Melmotte?
Oscar Wilde.
That is the correct answer. Lucy, on a standard UK computer keyboard, the symbol for which currency is on the same key as the $ and the number 4?
Yen.
The correct answer is the euro. Means, Rob, you are tonight's strongest link, and uniquely, you have not answered a single question incorrectly. You go away with £24,250. What are you going to do with the money?
I'm going to give it to the Parkinson's Disease Society.
Lucy, you leave with nothing. Join us again for The Weakest Link. Bye.
I'd like to say to Rob, you know, I'm sure he won't let it go to his head. He's a very down-to-earth boy. It'll just be the normal sort of thing for him after the show, just, you know, a big bottle of champagne and a load of, you know, sort of just lighting cigarettes with £50 notes. Just the normal, same old sweet Rob that we've always known.
Disappointed that I didn't say, come on, at the end, but I was also tense and very serious. So may I just say for the record, come on!